On Larry King Now, we welcome back John Cho, Herman Ozyman on Facebook. How easy is it to be an actor? You know, used to say this? Brando told me this. It's overplayed. We were driving in the car, and I was talking to him about being an actor, and he pulled over, and he said to me, "Your brother just died." And I said, "What?" And he says, "Hold that what? That what is Best Supporting Actor."
Marlon Brando is he's got aggressive teaching methods.
Very different role for you.
It was. I come from stoner comedies and being big and being funny, and this was a challenge to be still. I don't know that I've had a part where I've had to connect as strongly as I did with Haley.
Do you feel that you are a spokesman for the Asian acting community?
If I am, it's by default. I certainly don't care to speak on those issues, but it is a topic of discussion, and I'm happy to provide my opinion.
Plus, you are an integral part of Star Trek.
Say that into the lens. Tell JJ I'm an integral part of Star Trek.
J.J. Abrams?
Yeah.
He's an integral part of Star Trek. What are you going to replace him with? Me, a Jewish guy? What am I going to do? All next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now, and a return visit for John Cho, the acclaimed actor known for his diverse resume of work in many fan-favorite roles. We've seen him in comedies like American Pie and Harold and Kumar. He's also ventured into the Star Trek universe, playing Sulu in the franchise's 3 most recent movies. Currently, he's starring in the indie drama Columbus, film getting a lot of buzz, as well as the 2nd season of Fox's horror series, The Exorcist. Good to have you back, John.
Thanks for having me, Larry, in your den.
In my den. The Daily Beast says this about Columbus, and it's not Columbus, Ohio. It's Columbus,
Indiana. Yeah.
It's a small, heartfelt, aesthetically remarkable gem that announces little itself with little fanfare, but strikes a lasting chord, digging deeply into the thicket of personal issues that are at once timely and universal. What's it about?
It's about 2 people. I play one of them, Jin, who comes to the town of Columbus, Indiana, because his father has fallen ill from a stroke, and must come to take care of him. And while he's there, he meets a young girl named Casey, who's played by Haley Lou Richardson, and they develop a friendship as they bond over the architecture of the town, which is filled with world-class mid-century architecture.
Really?
Oh, it's.
Is that true about Columbus, Indiana?
It's 100% true. If you're ever out there,
I didn't know there was a Columbus, Indiana.
There is. It's a couple hours south of Indianapolis, and it is a treasure trove of beautiful architecture. There's an industrialist named J. Irwin Miller who decided our little town should have world-class architecture, and so it's just one thing after another. An elementary school, library, church.
So the town is part of the story as well as the relationship?
It sure is. Casey, played by Haley Lou Richardson, she sees all the beauty of her town while she feels that the rest of the citizens walk around unawares, and it's almost this open secret between the 2 of them. And it's a very still movie about 2 people in a lot of ways dealing with their personal relationships with their parents through the buildings.
A very different role for you?
It was. I come from stoner comedies and being big and being funny, and this was a challenge to be still. And the director, Kogonada, had these frames that allowed us to play, and I think, I don't know that I've had a part where I've had to connect as strongly as I did with Haley.
Is the Asian factor important to the role?
It's there. The character is absolutely a Korean character, a Korean-American character. And I think some of the themes, psychologically, the things he's going through are cultural. For instance, his father is sick and he's struggling with a sense of cultural duty to take care of him and the burden of that, the cultural duty. So in that sense, absolutely. And in some ways, and in other ways, it's unimportant. You know, it's not particularly a part of the narrative.
Do you feel that you are a spokesman for the Asian acting community, the Asian acting community? I know you're an actor first, you've said that, right?
If I am, it's by default. I certainly don't care to speak on those issues, but it is a topic of discussion, and I'm happy to provide my opinion. But I certainly don't feel like a spokesman, and frankly, I'd rather not be. But we have to have the discussion, I suppose, you know. But I guess I'd rather.
Well, would you say, is the climate better?
Yes, I think it's getting better. It feels that way. You know, is it where I would like to see it? No. But yes, I do see improvements, and I think as younger writers are entering the business, I think it will naturally improve. I think attitudes are continuing to shift.
Is the movie going to face a lot more attention to this city?
I think so.
I didn't know about this city. I'm not the world's intellect, but I'm not stupid. I didn't know there was a Columbus, Indiana.
Neither did I. I think when I got the script and was reading it, I typed in Columbus, Ohio into Google and looked for all these sites that were in the script, and came up blank, and eventually figured out I was in the wrong state. I hope so. I hope it becomes a tourist destination. I'm quite fond of the city. I think it's an American gem, and it says things about our country that I like. It's a certain pride in their hometown, and there's a sense of American exceptionalism there that I think is beautiful.
Does the relationship between you and the girl develop into a love relationship?
It does not.
Does not?
It does not. And I think the film is very interesting in the way that it bypasses all the conventional spots in a narrative and does sort of it's on the offbeat almost narratively.
You have succeeded in making me dying to see this film.
Larry, I like it.
You did it, John. You really got me engrossed. I never heard of a city. This wonderful friendship does not develop into a love friendship.
Larry,
Can't wait.
I want to tour this town with you. If you ever go, I want to be there with you, and I'm going to take you around. They like me there. I got an in.
I got to see this.
They don't know Larry King. They know John Cho.
Good, that's
I'll take you
good.
there.
I'd like to go somewhere not to be known. When we return, John talks tackling the horror genre on Fox's The Exorcist. Plus, what can we expect from the next Star Trek installment? Stay with us on this edition of Larry King Now. I really want to see this movie. Columbus is out now on iTunes and Amazon, and see it in theaters.
Wherever you get your movies.
All right, our guest is John Cho. We're looking forward to Columbus. You've also joined the cast of Fox's hit show, The Exorcist.
Yes, sir.
What is your part?
I play a guy named Andy Kim, who's a child psychologist on an island off the coast of Seattle, and his family is beset by a demon, and well, I guess we're almost at the end of the season. I get possessed.
You get possessed.
I do get possessed. I'm very vulnerable to this demon's wiles because I've lost my wife, and she's committed suicide, and I feel partially responsible, and so I'm very vulnerable, and she takes the form of a child that I see.
Did you like jumping into this?
I did, yeah.
The movie The Exorcist was set in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
This is Seattle?
Yes, it's in the mythology of The Exorcist, but certainly not in that time. There are two new priests/exorcists, and they, last year, they possessed Gina Davis, and this season it is my family that gets possessed.
Was it difficult to play?
It was probably the most taxing role of my life. Just being in that headspace, I was, I don't mean to complain, Larry, but I was pretty exhausted emotionally and physically from the role. But it was tremendously satisfying work. And not just the kind of putting on the makeup and being scary part, but we took time to establish the characters and make sure that the audience cared for them, so that when the family was put through the ringer, that people would give two S's.
Actors need a reference point. What's your reference point for being possessed?
I was totally in the dark about how this, because I have no reference point of feeling possessed. So, but I guess I felt anxious and crazy before.
Okay, it works.
Times 100, yeah.
You're very big elsewhere, right? You're a rock star in South Korea, right?
Am I?
That's what they tell me.
It would please me if people from South Korea knew who I was, as I was born there. But I don't know.
Were you born in Seoul?
I was, sir.
Great city.
Yeah, have you been there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great city.
I haven't been back in a long time, but yeah, I was born there.
So much in the way of advances in electronically. My God.
I hear that they have internet access that's very strong, and you can watch a streaming movie as you go through a tunnel on a train.
Yeah, they're ahead of the rest of the world.
Yeah.
They in Israel and up here, Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Okay, you've been in 3 Star Trek movies. There's now going to be a 4th.
Is there?
And Quentin Tarantino is directing it.
I have not heard that officially, Larry, but I have heard the rumors.
Well, you're solo, so you got to come back, Sulu, right? I mean, you are integral part of Star Trek.
Say that into the lens. Tell JJ I'm an integral part of Star Trek.
J.J. Abrams?
Yeah.
He's an integral part of Star Trek. What are you going to replace him with? Me, a Jewish guy? What am I going to do? Wouldn't that be wild? J.J. Abrams suddenly sees this and says, hey, why not a Jewish guy? No.
Larry, I just think you stole the part of Sulu from me.
It's not true about Quentin Tarantino. It is true, or what?
What I heard is that they met. I haven't heard an official announcement.
So you don't know if you're in it?
I don't know.
You'll be in it.
I hope so.
Wouldn't you like to be directed by him?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think he's brilliant.
But it wouldn't be a PG. It'll be an R.
You think so?
He doesn't do PGs, I don't think. I know Quentin.
I would like to do some Quentin Tarantino dialogue as Sulu.
You can't picture Sulu cursing, right?
No.
Is that a fun part to play?
Yeah. Me and my little brother used to pretend we flew spaceships as a kid, and so it's, as all little boys did, so when you come on the set of the Enterprise, it's, it awakens all those childlike feelings, and it's to scale, and it's huge, and you grew up on it. It was on television, and so it is a very unique acting opportunity. It's so fun.
Where did you grow up?
I was born in Korea, moved to Houston, Texas, and then Seattle and San Francisco and LA.
What did your dad do?
My dad was a preacher.
Oh, really?
Years, yes. Yeah.
Passed away or still with us?
He's still with us, yes. Yes. He had he's a cancer survivor this year, so he's still around.
You can see Columbus everywhere. You'll see him in The Exorcist and Star Trek 4, directed by Quentin Tarantino. He's in it. I think he knows more than he's telling us, but I accept this. After the break, we're going to have a little fun when John gets put into the If You Only Knew hot seat. Don't go away. Our guest is John Cho, Columbus. You can get it lots of places. We play a game of If You Only Knew, John.
Okay, Larry.
It's not a courtroom,
okay,
and you just can answer or not answer.
All right.
Who was your strangest fan encounter?
My strangest fan encounter. The one that comes to mind was after I did Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, an Asian woman came up to me, and I thought she said, "Thank you for representing," and I thought she was going to say Asians, but because she looked so straight and she looked like a bank teller, but she said, "Thank you for representing us stoners." So blew stereotypes out of the water there. But
who was your childhood celebrity crush?
Lynda Carter.
I'm a good friend of mine. Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Great.
Boy, was she a beauty.
Good singer, too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Place we'd find you on a day off.
Park with the kids. That's where I go.
How many you have?
2.
Boy and a girl?
Boy, girl, yeah.
Biggest perk of being a celebrity?
Biggest perk of being a celebrity, I don't know. When I was young and they would let you in bars and clubs ahead of the line. That's a dumb answer.
Yeah, seated at a restaurant?
Yeah.
Time travel or space travel?
Time.
Thing that keeps you up at night?
All the dumb things I've done.
Favorite comedian of all time?
Favorite comedian of all time. Pass. Too many names, Larry. Too many names.
Okay. Person you'd switch places with for a day?
Person I almost said Trump because I wanted the White House for a day just to reorganize
change everything.
The liquor cabinet. But then he'd be in my house.
Yeah, that's right.
Which would be a disaster.
What's a cliche you hate the most?
Cliche I hate the most. Well, I know. There's a Korean version of this that I hate to hear, which is translates roughly to, "There's nothing we can do about it." I hate the giving up mentality.
That's it now, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a Korean word. How is it Korean?
I think it's "할수없어," which means nothing we can do.
If you could have something named after you, what would it be?
Pass, Larry, pass. Pass!
Okay, it's not a courtroom.
Pass, Larry, pass!
Don't get so damn excited.
Need that on a loop.
Someone from history you'd like to take to lunch, and where would you take them?
Someone from history I would like to take.
Yeah, one of the weirdest questions of all.
These are tough. John Lennon. I'll take him to a taco place around the corner. I feel like he's a taco guy.
Last good book you read?
I just started a book, so it's on my mind. The Carrie Brownstein autobiography. And Hunger Makes the Girl, I think it is called.
If you weren't an actor, what would you be?
I think I might have become a teacher just because I like reading books.
Best piece of advice you ever got?
The one that comes to mind is a producer at The Tonight Show. The first time I did The Tonight Show, came backstage and said, "Are you nervous?" And I said, "Yes, very much so. Can I have a drink?" And he said, "It's all fine. You can be nervous. You can be angry. You can be excited. Everything plays. People will want to see any of that. The one thing that people don't want to see is you being too cool for school." And I thought, that's a very good piece of advice, and I've never forgotten it.
I've never heard that. That's very good. What's the worst piece of advice you ever got?
Pick a backup profession.
John Cho in 10 years.
President. No, I don't know.
Why not? Anyone could be president.
In 10 years, my boy will have gone off to college, so I will be an empty nester, or half-empty nester.
You know what he wants to be?
He likes the computers, Larry.
Oh, boy. Is he on his little...
He's on the stuff. He's doing the programming. He's making the...
They know it automatically.
Yeah, it's like it's genetic.
Next, John Cho will take your questions from social media. We'll be right back on this edition of Larry King Now. We're back with John Cho. He stars in the indie drama Columbus, getting a lot of buzz. You can see it in lots of places. He's in the second season of the Fox horror series The Exorcist. Some social media questions for you. We were flooded, by the way. Herman Ozyaman on Facebook. How easy is it to be an actor? Is it, you know, you used to say this? Brando told me this. It's overplayed.
You're talking about Tino Brando?
Marlon.
Marlon Brando. Oh, I see.
We were driving in the car,
Uh-huh.
and I was talking to him about being an actor, and he pulled over, and he said to me, "Your brother just died." And I said, "What?" And he says, "Hold that what. That what is Best Supporting Actor. It's a great what." He made it seem easy. Is it easy?
Marlon Brando is he's got aggressive teaching methods. Where were you? Why were you in a car with him? Where were you driving to?
We were driving to his house for lunch prior to an hour-and-a-half interview I did with him 2 days later.
Is it easy? You know, when you're really good, it seems like it's simple, but I find it hard.
Lisa Dooley on Facebook. Is it hard to go down the street without being recognized?
I get recognized a lot. Mostly, I'm called Harold, and it is what it is. Is it hard to? Yeah, I get recognized a lot. John
Crabtree on the Larry King Now blog. How long does it take usually to shoot a Star Trek movie?
I want to say I could be around 3 to 4 month range. There's a lot to do on the. It feels like we shoot fast, but they have so many things to shoot.
Where's the set?
It's been in different places. We shot the first one on the Paramount lot, which was real fun to go through the gates and good morning and park on the lot. And then we shot at Sony for the second one, also in LA. And then for this last one, we went to Vancouver and Dubai.
John Crabtree also says, do you have a friendship with George Takei?
Yes.
Sulu,
I mean, we don't talk very often, but we're friendly, and I consider him a friend.
He's an interesting guy.
He is. He's very smart.
Very.
And very outspoken and brave, and I admire him greatly.
Me too. Nancy Sands on the Larry King Now blog. Is there a person from history you'd like to portray on screen?
Yes, there is. Now I'm feeling like, because I'm in a talk with somebody about it, that I can't talk about it. Larry, I apologize.
So they are talking to you about doing a film?
I'm talking.
He's not.
Go ahead.
He's not Korean. There's never been a film on him. He was an extraordinary gentleman. We fought a whole war by mistake. Ho Chi Minh, North Vietnam. He was Vietnamese first, communist second, hated the Chinese, and we brought that whole war about.
Yeah. Well, that's a fascinating story. And in a way, it's an American story because we are so inextricably linked.
And now suddenly everybody goes to Vietnam. It's a vacation spot. The world changes.
Larry, it does.
I can't wait to see Columbus.
I can't wait for you to see it. Again,
I'll go there.
Open invitation. You and me.
You got it.
Road trip.
Big thanks to my guest. A road movie.
A road movie.
Big thanks to my guest, John Cho. Be sure to see his new movie, Columbus, out now on video and on demand. And if you haven't yet, check out the second season of Fox's The Exorcist. As always, you can find me on Twitter at King's Things. I'll see you next time.